right. So Michelle Young, I'm supposed to like read this thing, but I'm really not going to read
Put
much
my
of
middle
it.
name, I mean, my maiden name, because
I'm
Michelle
sorry.
Young, who is she? I like Google Michelle Young. There are millions of us.
Michelle Pierson Young. Now you can go look her up in the genealogy of LDS. Now that you have, it's Pierson, if you want
Do
to
you want
look
to give
that
them my
up.
address too,
She
Juliet?
is, yeah, that'd be great. She is a speaker, a teacher, a lover. Wait, isn't that a song? No. Executive coach. She's an artist, a traveler, and a mother. And let me just give you the scoop on her. She's super sassy. She's super inappropriate. If you need a session with her, you will leave feeling like the world is a great place because you have just laughed so much that you don't have any problems left. I get to talk to her occasionally because her husband's my coach. And oh, that's right. I really, oh my God, now I can't talk. I can't talk and read.
Okay, it's okay.
I really enjoy being around her. And I think you guys will have a lot of fun. She's very, very therapeutic in so many inappropriate ways. So Michelle Pierson Young, it's your turn. Come on down.
The crowd goes wild. Can I just say that is truly the best intro I've ever had. That's nailed it. I'm just, let me know what your fees are for like, I'm going to have my intro person and, this is Juliet. So we'll talk. Call me.
Yeah. I'll send you a bill.
So first of all, I want to thank everybody who's organized this. For those of you who are attending, there have been hours and hours and hours that have gone into really creating something and, being on the back end of the conversations, really creating something that is bringing value. These are professionals, the entire panel, these are professionals that came together and said, how can we bring value in this, and my words, not theirs, super duper bizarre time. How can I bring value? So I want to thank Juliet, Elizabeth, and Scott. They are the three masterminds behind this. And I got the email. Juliet called me and invited me, and I said it then and I'll say it again. It was really humbling to be brought on to talk about mindset, to talk about the peace part of the pivot. And it's a holistic experience, as Scott did his pinch hit this morning and was talking about the different ways he's pivoted, the different opportunities he's done. As Tina was talking about really kind of the anatomy of fear and what it does in our brain and how we can use that. I'll tell you what, I was taking notes during Tina's presentation. That was what you heard, all the talk back that you could hear when I accidentally got on and didn't mute myself, taking copious notes because she knows her stuff and I will tell you this from personal experience, finding a gifted therapist is a rare and beautiful gem. And Tina's, just from what I heard her present, she has the chops. So if that is in the market, and I think that a lot of people are in a moment where they're going, I was able to deal with the things that were scaring me. I was managing them, and then, and managing, right? Most of us are just managing. And then I got this whole boatload on top of new special fear. And that's what happens is people go, wait a second, I was managing my fear before, which means we're hanging out with it and dancing with it. And now I have more and I can't manage now. So if that's where you are and you're finding these psychological things that are popping up and you go, I don't have control over this. From what I heard Tina talk about, she is a great solution, great place to start, and a great resource, which is exactly what this summit is about. So when I was invited to this, I have to admit that I got, I was feeling all sassy. You guys get there? I was like, yeah, I got this invitation, so, do this all the time. I'm a great professional. And I just whipped off a name. This is what I'm going to call my presentation. And so then I went back to it. I came back to it and I'm like, okay, I need to double check exactly what was my thinking. And I read the name of what I was going to talk about, our workshop that we're going to do today. And I read it and I was like, Oh, that's trash. And I actually sent Juliet this, like, do you guys ever send like freaking out fear texts? And I'm like, please tell me, oh, please tell me, no, oh, no matter what, that I can undo this terrible damage. Because it was like, feeling the fear and moving forward in I mean, it wasn't this bad, but like in a cosmic moment where we feel confused. And I'm like, oh, no. So let me tell you what I called it. Apocalypse mastery. It's our time to shine. So I want to tell you one of my very favorite stories to start out, to give you an idea of what I do and why my clients get the relief and the results that they're looking for. Two just charming old ladies go out for a joyride in the afternoon. They come together and they're like, it's time to get out. You can imagine with the quarantine going on, they're like, what are we even doing? Let's just go out and go for a joyride. We're going to have a good time. So they go out and they have the best time, and the sun is shining, and they're driving up through the hills, and they're talking and they are laughing because they are old friends and they're enjoying themselves. This is where it's at, right? The time to do what we want. And as they returned home, it was getting dark and they didn't want to be out. I know I'm starting to experience that a little bit. As they're returning home, Edna looks over at Ethel and she says, I think Ethel just ran a red light, but Edna's not a fault finder. So she goes back out on the road and they continue to talk. And pretty soon she looks over and she goes, well, I am quite sure that, wait, did I say Edna and Irma? Sorry, I've changed the names recently. So anyway, Edna looks over at Irma and she goes, for sure, she just ran a red light. And then it happened a third time. And finally, Edna looks over at Irma and she says, why, Irma, I just watched you run 3 red lights. And Irma looks over at her aghast and says, oh, was I driving? I'm hearing you're chuckling. Yeah. Whomever was it, is that you, Juliet? Going, because we've all been there, right? I was there on my drive into the office this morning. I was like, oh, wait a second, Michelle, you should just look at the road now. You should just look at the road. The reason I like to start out my presentations with that story, first of all, it makes me laugh every time. And my 98-year-old grandmother gave me that joke. She laughed so hard, and she always says, I like to have a joke a day. And that's my joke a day. She's 98, so sometimes I get the same joke a day every time I see her, but I love it. So the reason she told me that, and the bells went and whistles went off in my head, and I thought, you know what? All of us are Irma. All of us are Irma at some point in time. We look around and we go, wait a second, where am I? And how did I get myself here? Was I driving? So you've had 2 glorious experts talk to you this morning already. And you're here because things have gotten weird, right? Stuff's kind of weird right now. And so when I named my presentation today, I named it Apocalypse Mastery. It's our time to shine, specifically because the uncomfortable circumstances that we're in, all of those idiosyncrasies that you've been struggling against in your own personality, those weird tendencies, those, God, what am I doing? All of those are getting pushed out. When I was talking about coming to Tina and talking to her, it's because a lot of stuff is rising up. What we were able to manage 3 months ago, we're now like, wait a second, I have the things that I was working really against managing, and now I have all of this, and I don't even know what this is. I think that's the scariest part. What is this thing? Is it an apocalypse? Is it a quarantine? Is it a cover-up? Is it an opportunity? I'm gonna slow down there. Is it an opportunity? So I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from in order to take you on a journey with me today. So if you're willing, I'd like you to be my, hold on, are you driving? You're the passenger. I'd like you to be my Irma, and I'll be Edna, and I'll drive, okay? I'm going to pay attention. I promise. I know I'm at the wheel of the car, and I'm going to invite you to being at the wheel of your own car. So Tina talked about one of the things that I was like, this is genius, is she said, fear is the only thing that gets smaller as you get closer. And most of us weren't taught. And Tina, if you wanna pop in and go, oh, Michelle, I can tell you the science behind that and give us a little quick blip, you're welcome to or not. but fear, we're taught to avoid it and pretend it doesn't happen and go, what? That's not my fear. Is it? So tell us, what's the science behind that? Do people know what to do with this, my friend?
They don't know.
They don't? Is that what you said?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I heard you mumble.
Oh,
I actually,
they don't know what it is. It's the alert system in the brain. It's the reticular activating system that's always on alert.
It's on automation. And Tina taught you. Tina gave and Tina, I won't call you out again. You're welcome to mute yourself out and be, whatever.
Fine.
But and if you want to, if I'm saying something and you're like, oh no, that specifically is this, like join on in, my friend. So Tina is teaching you and can continue to teach you how to use your fear in order to move you forward. And that is the elegant thing that people get to do when their apple cart is upset. That old saying, wow, her apple cart is really upset. I upset her apple cart. Well, all of our apple carts are upset right now. And it's something called, and I just love this word. I actually did a fireside workshop on this. It's called structure loss. So there are different kinds of fear, different ways that fears show up. And structure loss is one of them. And structure loss happens, you guys check this out. It's like textbook. It was made for this. Structure loss happens when we approach a problem we've never approached before and we don't know how to sort it out, to solve the problem. That's why these experts have gathered together going, hey, all of us together, let's all use our skills mutually so that we can help people do new things that they've never done before. So the reason I'm looking at this is with much opportunity. And I will do the disclaimer going, I know that there are people that are truly suffering. And I know that this is, and there are people who have lost their lives. And I want to be respectful and say, hey, that is happening and that is true, in addition to other things. So as I respectfully talk about opportunities, I also am inviting each one of us to acknowledge that not everybody is in a position to go, oh, this is a great opportunity. Some people are going, hey, I was barely managing before, and now I'm not managing. And we get to hold space for that as well. For those of us who've made it to this call at all, to this summit, we know there, at least you're in a position, you're well enough to collect some information. And I'm going to workshop with you through how we deal with structure loss. And Tina teed me off beautifully because she talked about getting closer to fear and having that fear get smaller. So structure loss, what it does, the interesting thing about structure loss, and what I call it for me, when I discovered structure loss, I was describing it to my mentor and I'm like, I feel super squidgy inside. I became like that 13-year-old girl going, I don't know what to do. And there's a like a real internal, like when people use the word stuck for their lives, it's like that. It's like, oh, this doesn't, it's almost a breath holding moment. And structure loss feels like that. So as we look at structure loss, what has to happen, these emotions are meant to motivate us and move us. And when we go, I have structure loss, that means I have to be present. That's why it hurts. So much of what we do is in the autonomous system that Tina was talking about. So we go, okay, this is the way I drive to work today. Okay, this is how I pay my bills. Okay, this is how I make my money. This is how I do it. And we don't even think about it. We just go next, 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 next. Structure loss feels bad because we don't yet have solutions. And it also feels bad because that autopilot thing that is a real luxury. Autopilot's a real luxury. Well, it gets turned off and we have to go, I have to go to work now. I turn left here. Maybe if I turn right, I'll get a different result. And it takes more of our energy. Well, so the opportunity in this is that we're already out of those normal ruts, if you will. We're out of our stuckness, at least in our lives. And our life stuck, we can't be stuck right now because we have to be present. And that also, so when a lot of people, well, my clients come to me and they say, Michelle, I am very successful in these areas, because we are all successful in certain areas, but I can't seem to ring that bell right there. I don't seem to be able to reach that. I've reached this, and most people would go, shouldn't that be enough for you? But we're growing creatures. So it's always the what's next thing. What can I grow next? But what we're doing right now, when my clients come to me, when we're all sitting in our homes in our apocalypse clothes, I have, by little side note, I actually have apocalypse pants because I'm working during the week. I only get to wear them on my weekends, but they're green, they're fabulous, they're cozy, they're made of Tencel, it's breathable, but they're like my coziest pants. So, you know, as we're like in our apocalypse pants and we're doing our normal things or our unusual things, the discomfort that we're experiencing is an opportunity because we're not on autopilot anymore. So I help my clients. I actually help them move into structure loss because they need to know they're there. Just like Tina explaining, hey, this is what fear is and this is what we can do with it. I'm explaining, hey, this is called structure loss, and it's a super cool tool because I actually guide my clients at their request and moving at their speed into structure loss. It doesn't feel good. And I'm like, this is gonna be tight and it's gonna hurt, because structure loss does not feel good. Everybody who's in this together, it just feels like, should I be scared today? You know, I mean, we're looking at our phones. You like that? We're looking at our phones and we're like, let me see if the news wants to tell me to be scared today. Should I go to Facebook and see if my friends want to tell me to be scared today? Should I be scared today? Well, I'm inviting you into structure loss, which is a low level of fear, which is just that kind of, that like one level up alert. This doesn't look normal. I'm sensing that things are unusual. I don't know what to do with it. And that's when we take the client and go, what do you want to do with it? So that's what we're going to do today. So like, the zombie apocalypse brought us here to the way it did all the hard work for me, and I'm bringing you into the fun part. That's what our workshop's going to be. So hold on. Tina says she likes the term, yeah, structure loss. All you, Tina. What you are encouraging is like taking your shoes and putting them on the opposite feet. Well, yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be super interesting. So Edna and Irma, they're out and they're really enjoying their lives. You see, our lives before this happened, there was a lot of good in them. Even if you were like, oh, I really need to change. Oh, this has got to stop. There was a lot of good in them. But the question is, and this is why my clients come to me, and my clients are happy people. My clients have, you know, they have great things. I mean, they're not always happy because who amongst us, am I right? But they come to me and they're like, I can't quite get there. And it's because we have to think different thoughts if we're going to get a different result. Einstein, the great, right? I actually, we should do that, shouldn't we? He deserves a the great. Einstein, the great, said, the problem isn't in the problem is in the thinking about the problem. So we have the luxury of our habits and our rituals. We have that luxury. And the problems that we had then, we were thinking about the problems in a different way than we can afford now. So we don't have the luxury of being unconscious to what we're doing, but we do have the opportunity to go, what didn't I like before? And what would I like in the future? So that's the first part of us workshopping this out. And I would love if all y'all would interact, and any of the panelists, if you want to interact on this too. You know, we're an equal opportunity workshop. Anybody who wants to play along, and all y'all, just so you know, first of all, I will harass all of the panelists that I know well enough to give a hard time. That basically equals 2 of you, you know who you are. Secondly, go ahead and share, put in the chat. I've got the chat up here, and put in questions, or if you don't understand what I've just invited you to do, because sometimes I can get convoluted, then put in there, what exactly do you mean? But the first thing we're going to do is, way back before the apocalypse and quarantine, hopefully nobody's getting triggered with my wording here. I just always like the words zombie apocalypse. And when I got the opportunity to use apocalypse at all with this, I was just like, let's just go with it. So that's right. Thank you, Scott. Scott takes exception to my wording. Got it. So how do we know which structure to address first, Elizabeth asks. So perfect question, Elizabeth. So as you're looking at it, as you go back and I'm describing since I scared Scott, he's such a gentle soul. He's just very sensitive. I won't use the A word again. Well, at least not the one I used before. I'll use other A words. Anyway, if you look back pre-quarantine life, when my life was on autopilot, where was I feeling the most discomfort? So that's the structure. So Juliet says, that's always my question. Which structure to address first? Which ones hurts the most? Because the thing is, let's say that everything in my life is going so fabulous and you're like, my business is the greatest, or my health, I tell my clients, on a scale of 1 to 5, rate your health, and a 1 is I'm sick and tired, it's difficult to get out of bed, and a 5 is I'm a sexy beast. So if you're at a 5 and you're like, oh, I'm a sexy beast, fine. You're probably not feeling super coachable if you're at a 5 on a scale of 1 to 5. What does hurt right now? Because even if my health is at a 5, except for I have a terrible infection in my baby toe. So think about this. My business is going gangbusters. I'm a sexy beast. My relationships are on point. My time and financial freedom is just rocking and rolling. But I've got a gnarly infection in my pinky baby toe. That affects my business, doesn't it? So go to your biggest pain point. My baby toe infection is going to be like, I'm going to be cranky with clients, or I'm not going to want to get on calls, or I'm going to be like, I'm at my A game, even though I'm not. So go to your biggest pain point and start there. So on a scale of 1 to 5, whatever the pain point is, and I'll give you my 4 pillars that I work with clients on. One is your health, because if you are, I think of, who was that? You guys, somebody give me a shout out here. Who was the crazy multi-millionaire who built the Spruce Goose? How ridiculous is it that I can remember the name Spruce Goose, but I can't remember? Rockefeller came to my mind. Who's Howard Hughes? Thank you, Laura Blanc. Oh, Elizabeth's got my back too. Think about Howard Hughes. Genius, intellect great, really super rich, could do whatever he wanted, and yet we know that the final years of his life were spent in a dark room with sketchy people around him, and he was suffering. So whatever area of your life is causing you the most pain is the easiest lever for you to get the most relief. I gave you 1 to 5. A 1 in health is I'm sick and tired and it's hard to get out of bed every day. And a 5 is I'm a sexy beast. I look and feel terrific, sleep well. Mental health is included in your health. Number two is relationships. So 1 is I'm alone and I'm very lonely. Those 2 things are fine, are separate. Alone is fine. I know I go up to my studio and if I tell people if my door's closed, leave me alone. So alone is fine, but if you're alone and lonely and don't feel support in your life, so you may even have a great group of people around you, but if you're not feeling understood. So a 5 would be, my relationships are a 5, meaning I give and receive love easily. I feel supported, and I have the opportunity to support others as well. So that's in your relationships. Career and creative expression. So you could be rocking and rolling as an accountant, but you really love to hang glide as well, and you're not doing one of those things. Your career and your creative expression, that's going to impact your score. So a 1 in career and creative expression is I work all the time, and it's sucking my will to live. And a 5 is I wake up in the morning going, I get to do this for money. This is awesome. And our final, time and financial freedom. Again, you can have all the time in the world and no money to enjoy it, and all the money in the world and no time to enjoy it. So a 1 on our scale is I'm working all the time and I still don't know how, or I'm working for my family, I'm doing things for other people, however that looks. Or a 5 is I basically can do what I want when I want. I choose to work, and that has some things, but I can do what I want when I want. So those are our 4 topics, and pain points. So I would love to hear, just if you guys want to type in, and I will not call on anybody who's like, leave me alone, Michelle. I used to teach Sunday school, and I did that because I was like, none of us want to be here, so I'm going to make you suffer as much as I am. So wow, that was just a terrible thing that came out of my mouth. Scott, can I get at least like a or no, nothing from Scott. All right. Oh, wait, you got me, Scott? There you go. Thanks for having my back. I'll tell you, team, mistakes aplenty. You know, first like being that person eating in Scott's ear and interrupting Tina and then saying inappropriate things, which has happened. Have you guys been doing that? It's like the apocalypse stuff is like, whatever, we don't even know what's going on. I'm just going to show up as me. That's an opportunity. It's an opportunity because we're all going, yeah, Michelle, that was fairly inappropriate, but what are you going to do? Okay, so I would love to hear right here. I was just telling you, I won't call on you, but I'd love to hear what area of the 4, remember, health, relationships, time, career and creative expression, and time and financial freedom. Where are y'all feeling the pinch? Who's got me? Oh, it looks like Tanya from Wyoming said that hers is in, come on, you guys, really? Oh, okay. The shoulds that oppress the most. Isn't that the truth? Shoulds, I call it should the real swear. You guys, everybody who knows me knows I have a fairly filthy mouth. I try real hard to, you know, keep it appropriate for what I'm doing. But I think the real swear word is should. As I'm a mother of adult children, and me calling up my daughter-in-law and going, you know what you really should do with your kids? Ugh, right? That's just, ugh. All right, Tina goes, financial freedom still needs work, looking to get to that 5, right? Time and financial freedom. Yeah, yep. The Laura, thanks for sharing. Yeah, time and financial freedom. So we can actually, let's go down that route. Real quickly, what I would love to tell you today, I was thinking and I was strategizing with my team. You guys want to hear? I'm super excited I have a team now. I actually have I have a boutique coaching practice. And so it's not like I've got, you know, a lot of behind the screen stuff. But I do have a team member now. I'm really excited because you can imagine you can hire some fairly awesome people. Monica, super great to have you here joining us. Monica says hers is relationships, feeling socially connected, but missing the physical connection. She's on lockdown in Cape Town, South Africa. Oh girl, oh, I'd love for you to message me later and let me know how that's going, because what an adventure. Monica is, she is a, what does she call it? She is a citizen of the world. She introduced me to that term, and she really is. She travels all over the world, living her beautiful life and learning these things. So relationships is a really good one to put right now because as I was talking about, the things that we were able to let slide in the past, we can't rely on our normal toolbox right now. I can't say to my daughter, oh, I just said something that was really offensive to you. Here, let's go out for coffee and chat about it. We're having to pick up new tools than we've ever had before. And that's what my clients come to me for, is like, what tool do I use here? Or I don't have a tool to do this. And there are tools for everything you want to do. And one of those that I told you is the get out of your own brain thing, get out of the ruts. So I developed a program several years ago called 21 Day Life by Design. And that's my offer today. I was like, do I want to sell you something? But really I wanted to come to you as a resource. So what I'm offering today, I'm really excited about, is for you to text your email address to 503-498-8199. If somebody wouldn't mind, if one of the panelists wouldn't mind putting that in the notes, that would be a super great favor for me. That number again is 503-498-8199. Guess the rest, just kidding. 8199, 503-498-8199. Text to that number 21 Day LBD, 21 Day Life by Design. We're going to start the practice. Oh, thank you so much, Scott. We're going to start the practice on Monday. So you're going to go through this whole summit with all of the presenters here. And on Monday, you're going to get an email from me or from my teammate, Zoe. And you're going to get an email, and it's going to invite you into very simple practices that are designed to get you out of that autopilot thing that structure loss has put you into. So think of 21 Day Life by Design as a fun game to play. I'm inviting you to a fun game to play. And what it does is it invites you into simple practices for 21 days that get you out of the old the rut thinking and gets you thinking about your life differently. So what we're going to do is you're going to get the 21 days of emails, and you're not going to get anything other weird thing. But then, so Monday, April 13th, you're going to get the email. So you're just going to start practicing. And oh, by the way, I'm inviting you to do it in your own way and imperfectly. There's not a right way to do this. My clients will tell you all the time. I'll say, okay, here's your life practice for the next 2 weeks. And they'll be like, oh, dude, you'll want to know what I did instead? Because there's not a wrong way to do it. We learn every time we do something, and every time we don't do something, and how we do something and how we don't do something. So don't get all freaked out going, the last thing I need is 21 more days of guilt. No, it's 21 days of play. There's a difference. This should feel good. So then we're going to do a check-in workshop. It's a check-in opportunity on Wednesday, the 22nd of April. Again, this is a complimentary thing. I'm going to invite my clients on too. And it's just to check in and go, hey, what did you discover? Because when we can look at when we decide not to label something as good or bad or sad or awful, sure, we get to mourn. We can mourn what life looked like. We can mourn what life looked like 3 months ago. Or even, when you've gone through like terrible trauma, terrible loss, we get to mourn, if it pops up. Allowing the emotions is a really important thing. Because remember, emotions are driving us. But we have to, only if we're in the driver's seat, only if we're Irma, and we go, no, I'm driving, and right now I feel sad. Or no, I'm driving, and right now I feel scared. And Tina taught me that if I get closer, it'll look smaller. And so we use one new tool. So 21-day Life by Design, you're going to text it to 503-498-8199. Scott put it right in the notes. And then we'll have a check-in and see how that's going. Some of you are going to get everything you want from me in that. And some of you are going to go, hey, Michelle, how do I get some structure around not having structure? And I'm open to talking to you about that. This is a resource for you. It's an opportunity for you to actually have a life coach in unusual circumstances. So if you've ever even thought, geez, I just really like somebody to help me put some structure around this, this is your time. This is your time to go out and take it for a test drive, and please have it be fun. I get bored with not fun. So workshopping it out. Go to your thing: health, relationships, career and creative expression, and time and financial freedom. And we identified the area that, this is so genius. My partner in crime, Zoe, my teammate here, said also to text your email address. So text email addresses. I can't remember what I told you. So put your email, I probably said it wrong. Put your email address and text it to the number in the notes, 503-498-8199. So going back to your, what is bugging you the most right now? What doesn't feel good? What feels tight, doesn't fit? Go there. And now we're going to forecast forward, and I'm going to give you some wiggle room in here. Anybody who wants a one-on-one session about this is something I would also do complimentary. If you're like, I know I need to do this, I need you to interview this out of me. That's one of the things that I do. You can also put interview in there. So text that number, put 21-day Life by Design, and put your email address, and you can also put in their creation session. All of this complimentary. Our goal as a company at Life Mastery is to be a resource for you during your structure loss. Okay, so going back and going, this didn't feel good, this felt tight, or even I didn't realize that I was uncomfortable in my career until this happened, because I simultaneously am super happy I don't have to go to work, and also I'm scared because I also want to make money. Those are all situations. So go to your pain point, and now you get to choose. You can have it be 1 month, 3 months. Tina was talking about, what is your plan what if this goes 6 months? Or what would you love for it to look like in 6 months? Or if you're going, I'm pivoting hardcore, Michelle, 6 months isn't gonna get me the momentum that I'm looking for. So you can do it a year out, or what I guide my clients through in normal circumstances is a 3-year vision, because we can create a good deal of momentum in 3 years and accomplish way more than we think we can. While 1 year sometimes doesn't give us the momentum. One of the questions was asked, what are the email and text number? Thank you so much for asking that, because it can go a little convoluted sometimes. The email address, 503-498-8199 is for you to sign up with your email address for a program that I've designed called 21 Day Life by Design. It's the playful part of structure loss. That's what that is. When you do that, if you put 21 Day Life by Design, put your email address, you can also put creation session, ? And I or somebody else will reach out to you and get you a link to a calendar. So that's what that's for. Venus, love your name. I'm living in Iran, and due to sanctions, I'm not sure I can send a message to the number you just mentioned. Is there any alternative? Absolutely. So you can send your information to Michelle at Play, MICHELLEATPLAY @gmail. So that it sets people off sometimes. I'm typing it into the notes, and the way you can remember that is from a story that I'm actually going to tell you right now. Am I going to tell you that story right now? No, I'm going to finish giving you your assignment. I'll tell you the story in a minute. So forecast, I love the giggle that I got from somebody. Thanks for listening, guys. That was you, Tina. Thank you. Thank you very much. So what we're going to do next is, yes, Venus, you are very welcome. I'm super glad you're reaching out. So just do the same thing, 21 Day LBD or creation session, and you're set to go. So what we're going to do next is we're going to forecast forward whatever amount of time. I would tell you no less than 3 months and no more than 3 years. Forecasting forward anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, looking at the area that's causing you the most discomfort right now, and writing in present tense. So imagine that it's whatever your time period, forecasting forward. Oh, you're not good to go. We need the emails. I have to have your emails because you don't want me to call you. So if you're messaging to that telephone number, make sure and put your email in there. So forecasting forward, whatever period of time you've chosen, imagine that you're writing a journal entry and you're like, that crazy Michelle, I never would have imagined when I listened to her talk back in April, on April 10th at the Peace and Pivot Summit. I never would have imagined how great things turned out. So you're writing it as if it's already happened. What I love about my time and financial freedom, imbue it with detail. So when you say, oh, I have all the clients I want and there's a waiting list, give it, how many are all the clients? When you talk about time and financial freedom, how much time do those clients take? And how many dollars, how much energy is coming back to you in that period of time? Because time and financial freedom, we don't want to just go, I would never say for my vision, I'm rocking and rolling. I have a full schedule all the time, because honestly, more than 3 groups or 3 clients a day sucks my will to live. So I get to go, so where you're going to go in very detailed. And so you're going to imbue it with detail. And then here's the superpower. Remember, Tina and I both talked about that today. Your emotions are to guide you. They're to fuel you and move you forward. What emotion inspires you to make changes in your life? Remember, you're in a perfect position to make changes because life has just thrown you structure loss in dozens of ways. So since you're already uncomfortable, what have you changed and how does it make you feel? I am so happy and grateful now that, and then you get to write it in. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have clients and we interact, or my relationships, or I'm physically touched by that person of my dreams. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You guys want 2 minutes? I got an extra 10 minutes. Does anybody have any questions about the assignment? Excellent. I'd sing for you, but that'd be distracting. But I will play music for you. Unless that'll make—
No, don't play music.
Don't do it. Yeah, that's did you hear me say unless? And Scott's like, don't do it. All right, but I'm not going to sing either. You have, starting right now, because I've been chit-chatting, you have 1 minute starting right now. I'm so happy and grateful now that. You have 10 seconds. So as you finish up your writing, what I'm inviting you into is really look at those emotive words. So excited is actually an unsustainable emotion, but enthusiasm, because we all know those there are the days where we wake up and we go, I need to show up and make the donuts, as my husband always says. I need to show up and make the donuts, but there are days we do not want to make the donuts of our lives. Honestly, I love what I do. And there are days where I wake up and I go, I'm tired, or I'm emotionally spent from my own work that I'm doing on myself. And then we remember, because I'm very enthusiastic about what I do, no, I'm gonna show up and make the donuts. It doesn't matter that I'm tired today, I can rest. I will make time for that. But in this moment where the structures of our lives, every single one of us, this is my favorite world war of all time, because for the first time, the first world war ever, we're fighting to save people's lives. Think about that. This is a world war. We have become a world community. And we're fighting against something. Well, let's fight for our lives as well, for our level of comfort and joy. The only thing we know for sure is that we're having a human experience. And if that human experience is not what you want it to be, the infinite, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, something has brought you an opportunity today through structure loss. And it hurts, man. This does not feel good. There are days where I go, oh, what do? I'm gonna plant a garden because what about food, right? There are days where I go down that rabbit trail, we all do. But this is an opportunity like I've never seen. None of us have ever seen this before. And it's a lot of things. And one of them is an opportunity. And when we get to change our thinking around things, we get to get a different result. So would anybody feel so brave and powerful and strong and not shy today? Because come on, we're all wearing our apocalypse pants. It's not just, actually I didn't wear them, but they look similar to the apocalypse pants. The tinsel is so breathable. Anyway, we're all here. We're all like, let's just get real about this, shall we? This is weird. And it's frankly quite upsetting on certain days, but it's also, we get to acknowledge that, but it's also a hell of an opportunity. So does anybody want to be brave? You all going to be chicken? Because I'd love to hear, I'm so happy and grateful now that, or whatever your version is. But if you're going to be a chicken, I'm going to start harassing people. Mostly for fun, honestly. Anything? Raise your hand. You know there's a hand raise. Honestly, I have some clients on here and I know you're chit chatters. I know who you are. All right, I get nothing from you, but I love you all anyway. So let me explain what happened. So let's just say, I'm gonna use me because I've already told you kind of what I imagine, because my practice is changing. I've actually been really busy during this period of time because my clients are coming back to me going, hey, this doesn't feel good. And I'm like, I know, right? And then we work it back. We work it forward, we work it backward. We pre-member. That's what I just invited you to do. Pre-member. So I have this idea, right? It's kooky as hell. I'm going to be clear on that one. I don't want anybody to go, that Michelle thinks she's really super sane when she says stuff like this, but just roll with it, okay? What if, because, oh, Gina raised her hand. Well played, madam. Well played. So Scott, can I unmute Gina, or can we unmute Gina? How does that work?
I'll take care of it. Hang on here.
Look at you. Okay, Gina, don't say anything until I finish my story, and then I'm calling you in. And don't tell anybody, whatever you do, don't tell them you're my cousin, because I want to like seem like, okay, whomever this is, and then we'll just go from there. So just act it out with me if you will. So just go with this. So we know that we can remember. It's a part of the brain, and we can remember. And I can tell you that last night, late in the night, again, seriously, it's like I'm showing you my apocalypse fan. So you guys, last night, late at night, I went into my kitchen. I made bacon for dinner, and I had just this little dash of bacon on top of my dinner. And I'm literally, it's like everybody in the house is asleep, and I'm like eating bacon. Because I can, right? We are all doing odd things that we don't normally do. But so I remember last night that I got weird because it happened last night, and everybody goes, well, of course that's what happened last night because you just told us and you remembered, and who would lie about, binge eating bacon when everybody else is in bed? We believe you. But what if we could pre-member things, right? I mean, the French word is déjà vu. But what if because we don't know all of science. I'm not saying this is a fact. Let me be clear. Tina brought facts today, and I'm bringing a fun idea that makes me feel happy when I think about it. So when I invite you to pre-member, what I'm saying is go to a possible future that pleases you and write down what you think would make you feel the way you want to feel. And then share that feeling. So I'm so enthusiastic about my practice 6 months from now, because I suspect that, some of you are going to be in that practice in one of my group programs, one of my one-on-one programs, whatever. But I get to pre-member that and think about like working with you and thinking about how much I'll enjoy teaching you things that I know and learning about who you are and what you would love in your life. That's pre-membering for me. And do I believe that exact thing is going to happen? No, I don't know what it will look like. That would be cool, but what if it could be even better? That's what I'm inviting you into, is having ideas about what you can do, be, have, feel, and experience that you've never had before, because you have to think different thoughts than you've ever had before. So complete stranger Gina, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
Hey, cousin. So tell us what you did for your exercise.
You know what? I just barely joined you, so I'm so sad that I missed the first part.
Okay, so it's okay. That's totally cool. But did you see that cousin love there? She just like jumped on in because she's like, I'm gonna support her, that complete stranger I've never met before. So Gina, the question was, as we're pre-membering, so you heard me say that part, as we're forecasting forward, as if our memories worked both ways. That's kind of the idea that I was doing it. What would you love to be doing, feeling, having, experiencing 6 months from now that you didn't necessarily think about before the whole world turned upside down?
Okay, I'm going to try to make this super short, but in February on Valentine's Day, then my principal invited me to write a letter of resignation or be on probation. And that hurt a lot.
Real bad. That hurts. Wait, snaps to Gina, everybody in your hearts or in your homes, like snaps for Gina for sharing that, because that does hurt, and sharing it is scary. So way to go, my friend. Way to go, my cousin. So, okay, so you got that. So now what? So
I didn't want to be on probation because that goes on your permanent record. And I'm like, okay, I'll write a letter of resignation. And I'm hoping, dang, we rely on my income to pay bills. What am I going to do? Because I'm unsure now. What am I going to do? So I put in two job applications to 2 different schools. And I started filling out another one. And in fact, just last night, Dallin said, are you going to finish filling out that job application? And I go, yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I really was planning on doing it today. But today at 10 o'clock, I got a call from one of the schools that I had applied for and that I interviewed at, and they offered me a job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so excited. And I've been trying so hard to have positive vibes. I've been trying to okay. And in my job interview, then she said, can you tell me why we should hire you? And I said, well, I'm a really good teacher. I teach reading really well. And because I'm awesome. And then
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I thought, dang, I don't know if I should have said that, but I am awesome, you know? And I thought,
How cool
Yeah,
would it have been if she'd said, "Why should we hire you?" And you were like, "Well, I kind of suck, but how great would it be if you did it anyway?" Right?
I know,
mean,
right?
of course you should say that. Well done. Beautifully done. And so I love what Gina modeled for us here, because what she said is, hey, I already ran against the wall. It was embarrassing. It was uncomfortable. It was scary. And then I thought, okay, well, what would I love to have happen? Well, I would not love to be on probation. I would not love that. I would love to get a job where I just get to show up and explain. And what might it be? You see, the energy of this sucks makes us sit at home and go, I don't know what to do because this sucks. But this is an opportunity that Gina got an opportunity. And what if, and I'm not even saying this is the truth or this is what will happen, but what if Gina loves this new job even better?
I think I will.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it.
Genius. Thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate your support. It was really kind of you to raise your hand. So as we move forward, and Gina, I'm gonna tell Scott on the side. Don't tell anybody, but Gina. Okay.
Do I need to mute her right now? Is what you're saying?
Mute that woman out. Was she an internet troll or what?
She did.
Just kidding. Gina, that, by the way, that was a joke you missed. So you're not a troll. You are my beautiful cousin. Thank you again so much. So as we're moving forward and as we're looking at everything, the feelings that we're having together are discomfort, structure loss. What do we do now? And the question, a high vibration question, remember when I talked about Einstein the Great, and I said, his quote is, and I'm probably paraphrasing, the problem isn't in the problem is in the thinking about the problem. So as we look at this, when we think about the problem, when we go, I don't know what to do, I don't have any resources, this isn't how I wanted it to look, what is happening here? Those questions, if you think about them, are not solution worthy. Why is this happening? This feels really uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. All of those things, in none of them is, I wonder what I could do that would be incredibly valuable to enough people that I can make more money than I ever did before, because they're getting so much value from me that I actually have all the time and financial freedom that I want. And I can even up my game then. Or in regard to relationships, I've been physically missing people. And what I would love to do now is support them by listening. Did you know the #1 way people feel loved is to feel heard? And I'll tell you what, team, it's way more of a skill than we ever thought we needed. To simply sit and be present with people and hear what they're trying to say to us, not what we think they mean. So this is an opportunity for relationships as well. I can't use my old tools. I can't use my tools in my relationships, in my health, in my career, in my time, in creating finances. I can't use the same tools, but your hands aren't tied behind your back. You've just been given an opportunity to get a new tool belt. That's what is happening. There are a lot of other true things too. But when we go back and we ask ourselves the question, what hurts the most? What is feeling the most uncomfortable? What's like a snake skin that I need to wiggle out of? And I've got the rough rock of apocalypse. I couldn't remember the words, quarantine, but whatever. I've got the rough rock of a quarantine to get out of this skin. Have you guys felt that? That like, this is what I thought I wanted, you might say to yourself. But now you got what you wanted, and now it feels like a tight skin that is squeezing your life out of you. And that the rough rock that's provided is the quarantine, is the world shifting gears. So over the next few days, you're going to, or over the rest of this day and all of tomorrow, you're going to have the opportunity to listen to a lot of different kinds of experts, a lot of different kinds of personalities. as you listen to them, listen to how you vibe with them, the way they talk, because there might be, like Tina and I, like kind of a hand in glove thing. And Tina, you might have like really been vibing with Tina going, you know what, now's my time. I'm uncomfortable enough that I'm calling because a gifted therapist is a beautiful thing. Or you might be going, well, I'm doing this, but I'm not quite sure remember what, Michelle, because really it's a cool, funky idea, right? You might be looking at that, or you might listen to, oh, you know what, I heard Scott talk about this, or Tracy talk about that, or Juliet, or any of these people, and they might have crossover, but you're gonna vibe with somebody, or somebody's, you're gonna vibe with people, and select those. These are people that are offering tools, and you're gonna recognize them because you start going, I really like what Tracy's talking about the podcast. We can all do that right now. So see who you're vibing with, reach out. If you're vibing with me, and I would love it if you do vibe with me and vibe with others. If you're vibing with me, you're going to text your email address. It's kind of hard because if you text me your text number, blah, blah, blah. So I actually can't work with that. You're going to text me your email address. And I don't sell to anybody. I use my list very judiciously just for me. Text me your email address, and you can put 21-day LBD for the 21-day Life by Design. It's the fun part of structure loss. Or you can go, I really want to take that opportunity with Michelle and see if I can, I have a few spots available. And so if you're like, oh, I really think I need to get more structure within this, and I need to be interviewed, have this interviewed out of me, then also you can put in creation session, or CS. I'm gonna understand CS, and my team's gonna understand 21-day LBD. So that starts on Monday. The 21-day Life by Design starts on Monday. You'll get 21 days of emails every day. That starts on Monday the 13th. On Wednesday the 22nd, so that's gonna give you half of that time to kind of feel it out, see what practices feel good to you, and we'll have a check-in, and it will be a continuation of this community as well. This is where I'm offering this. I may go onto other platforms and offer it, but I created this for you. I created it because I'm happy you're here. We're all looking for resources. I know that I feel really humbled to be with the resources that are on this summit as well, and excited. Also, please feel free, if you're like, my girlfriend's been talking about a life coach, or when we get together for coffee, we've talked about having a coach, or we don't even know what to do forward. Share that number, the 503-498-8199 number, and tell them about the programs, because it's for fun, it's a resource for you, and it's an opportunity as we're dealing with structure loss. So as you move forward, whether I hear from you, or you are vibing with other people on this panel and you're moving forward, my invitation to you is, if somebody said, boil it down, my friend, boil it down, what are you inviting people into? And whether you got what you needed from me today, or you're coming along for the rest of the ride with me, my invitation to you is to ask yourself the different question and leave this apocalypse mode in neutral. Just put yourself in neutral and go, this is happening. I got a text message from a client the other day that said all the schools are closed in my area until the end of the year. And I texted back, I actually texted back the emoji, because what does it even mean, right? Is it an opportunity for that person's children to have a closer ties with them? Is it an opportunity to have the schedule slow down? I think we've all enjoyed that piece of it. There is an opportunity here. And truthfully, if I'm being honest, there are a lot of really good opportunities. And the first way to begin to recognize them is to sit back and go, the little emoji. I like the one with the monocle because I'm a little bit of a drama girl. The one with the monocle going, I wonder what I can do with this. And if you don't know, if you're like, I don't even know what to do with this, that's what this summit is about. You're going to know about psychology, about sales funnels, about notes, about many different things from many different teachers who are providing you resources that wouldn't be available if we weren't in times of apocalypse. So when this whole thing started happening, I had what I like to call a wonky childhood. Some weird happened. like real weird. But what happened from that was I started to develop some skills because of that. And we all have that. We can all look and go, that was at least a wonky moment in my childhood. And because of that,
I think it's kind of debatable, Michelle. You got skills? Come on now.
I got mad skills, dude. I got swear skills. I got listening. I got mad skills, Scott. So as we're looking at it, looking at the wonky things that have happened to us in the past, and most certainly the wonky things that are happening to us right now, we get to do the I wonder. I wonder, my friends, if I will see you on the 21-day Life by Design opportunity check-in on the 22nd. That is what is going to happen before, after you've been doing 21-day Life by Design for a week and a half. We're going to do a check-in. We're going to give you some more skills, some more tools in order to bring about that 6-month, 6-year vision of what you would love to have. But first we got to get neutral. Then we get to recognize the opportunities, and then we get to start choosing the next best step, the next right move. Thank you so much for sticking with me for this period of time. This has been a real pleasure. Thank you again to the organizers. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Oh, Scott just told me I still got 10 minutes. I still have 10 minutes. I was
just going to say, we are, our Australian is our next one. So she hasn't shown up yet. I do have a question,
we can keep going. Yeah, absolutely. Ask me questions. Ask any questions you want. Now that I know I have 10 minutes, and I think you've noticed I can riff for another 10.
I'm trying to wrap it up. Q&A at the end. So
everybody, I'm a consummate professional. I make no mistakes ever. And now I've left a specific 10-minute period of time for you to ask Q&As. Juliet, what you got?
Nothing. I was on a call and I saw the LBD. I thought you were giving away little black dresses.
Oh, I should. Or little black nightgowns, because who's wearing their little back? I got really excited this morning, you guys, because I was like, oh, I've never worn this at an event before. I bought it like back in November. So could everybody just take a moment and go, oh, Michelle, how? Okay, thanks.
Very nice.
That was plenty of appreciation there. Thank you.
Can we talk about that though? That's a good question though, because I think everybody is in their pajamas and Under Armour dry fit shirts for like 3 days straight, or a week straight in some cases. That one of the things about mental health is proper sanitization, grooming skills, and just having like a dressing up a little bit.
Absolutely. You know what? It's a really, really good point, Scott. That, we're like, I already admitted to you that I have apocalypse pants. First of all, it just sounds cool, right? Because I mean, it's like, hey, are you prepared for life? And it's like, well, not if you don't have a pair of apocalypse pants. So I found mine at Costco, anybody who's, gonna go out. But it's a really good question, because there is this fine line, and I'm actually gonna take it a little bit of a twist that from what you were saying, Scott. Yes, we just turned this into a what are you wearing call? Because I called Juliet the other day to ask her about something, and I was like, Juliet, what are you wearing? And she's like, a t-shirt. And I'm like, no, make it up. I just want it to be spicy. But it's a really good question, because one of the gifts that I personally have experienced from what's happening is that I have significantly more time on my hands. I'm actually working more, but I'm driving around less. We live out in the middle of nowhere. That stranger Gina who wanted to talk, she's been to my house, and we live in the middle of nowhere, and so it takes me at least 15 to 20 minutes just to get to the grocery store. And so what I found is that I'm not going to the grocery store. I'm planning when I do go into the grocery store, but I have a lot more time on my hands. So the question is, are there days that I'm not wearing makeup? Yes. And am I really happy about that? Oh, yes, I am. But there will be levels. There is a ritual in the mornings. Erin and I get up, we have coffee, we talk for either 15 minutes if one of us has an early morning, or we talk for 2 hours if it's a Saturday, and we have a routine and a ritual, and it involves getting up and getting ready. I personally wash my apocalypse pants after 2 days wear. Sure, I live on a goat farm. Yes, I also paint, and I keep getting paint on them, which is why they're now officially apocalypse pants, because I can't wear them in public. But the point is, don't miss the opportunity to relax and give yourself more time than you normally would. I'm discovering all sorts of preferences that I never gave myself time to discover before I was on apocalypse time. There's an opportunity in here both to establish rituals so that you stay on track, like Scott was saying, like, let's not wear the same thing like every single day, but there's also an opportunity to go, and today I did nothing, and it was lovely. One of the things that I've been doing is walking our property. We have 25 acres. We've lived there for 9 years, and all of my family, including my tiny little baby grandchildren, except for the newest ones, know that property better than I do, because I never said to myself, you know what, Michelle, you deserve a nice afternoon walk of just walking the property. And there's this really cool log that's on it's not a log, it's a nice round post.
Tree?
It's a post it's part of the fence, but it's a big log that's just in a corner. It's to reinforce the corner, and it's back in the far corner of our property. And I'm not joking, it's got to be a 3-inch thick moss covering on it. Elizabeth and I were talking, we live in the Pacific Northwest, both of us, like a minute from each other. I mean, not a minute, because I live many minutes from everybody. But there's this big, thick carpeted covering on top of this log. And I literally like to take a 15-minute walk, that's just the beginning, just down to that part of the fence, because there's something about touching the moss. There's something about this, like what nature did. And I don't even know if it's not like I made it mean anything to me. I just really like to touch it. I would like everybody to know that I could have taken that a real dicey direction, and I didn't, because of the professionalism. Sure, shouldn't have pointed out that I could have, but I didn't, and that's the important part. The question is, what things do you like to do that you were like, oh, I don't have time to just go for a walk. I don't have time to go down that just because that mossy green log got rained on, so it's gonna feel extra squishy. You actually do now. You have time to do what you want. So balance it. Indulge the hell out of yourself. Do that, and also work differently. Work in a way that's fun to you, differently than you've ever done it before. Laura Posey, lovely to have you throwing your thing. Well, first of all, Elizabeth is in her fancy clothes on top, sweats below. By the way, Elizabeth, all of my clothing is rated on its, like, can it pretend to be pajamas but still look professional? That's how I dress every day. I'm fully dressed. I'm like doing my thing. It's like, oh, I would never do that. No, Elizabeth, all of my pants need to feel like sweatpants. So way to go, sister. Yep, all of them need to feel that way. Laura says, I came to Australia for vacation and have been here for 3 weeks. I brought no dance clothes with me. Right, Laura? And if you're like me, if you're in the middle of nowhere, everything I have shipped to my house takes like 3 weeks. It's like a geographical oddity. It's 3 weeks from everywhere. It would be minutes if we could fly. Traffic and bridges change the equation. Absolutely. So yeah. So yeah, we are crows as the crow flies, and minutes from each other, as life has it. Probably an hour right during apocalypse time, because the traffic's not that bad. Is the traffic bad right now? I haven't been anywhere.
Well, I can't go and visit you anyway, but the minute they lift the restriction, I'm going to be showing your doorstep. So that's great.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The minute they lift the restriction, come out. Even if we can't be together, we'll walk around, hang out with the goats. The horses are super friendly. Good times. Yeah. You can come down and
walk around, go see us. Yeah.
Feel the mossy fence, the mossy fence. So again, because well, closing it all up, saying it concisely, this is an opportunity. We don't know exactly what they are, but we get to explore them. There is structure loss. It's one of the undergirding feelings, emotions that all of us are experiencing during the most exciting world war we've ever had. It's the war to save lives. And while we're in the middle of this war, taking things very seriously, the invitation is to look at what doesn't fit in your life. I have to make changes anyway. Where are the most direct, what's the next right move for you in order to create a different outcome that would never have been possible if this weren't happening right now? What are the opportunities that would not have been possible if we weren't experiencing the structure loss that we're experiencing? you can find me at michelleatplay.com. No, wait, that's a lie. I just lied to you, but at least I owned it. Mea culpa. You can find me at Michelle Young Coaching on Facebook. You can find me at Michelle at Play on Facebook. You can email me at michelleatplay@gmail.com. You can text me 503-498-8199. Text me your email address. Text me your email address. I didn't make that clear before, so I'm making it clear now. Text me your email address, and with LBD or 21-day LBD, 21-day Life by Design, to get your little morning shot of the fun part of structural loss. And if you're going, Michelle, I've got some things to sort out. I've got some direction, a place I want to go that I've never been able to go before. And you're like, I want to take her up on those few spots on the creation session. Put CS in that text to Michelle, or to 503-498-8199. You can reach out to me. I've really enjoyed my time with you. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. Mic drop.
Thank you, Michelle.
My pleasure. It's been a real pleasure to be here, Elizabeth.
That's really fun. Okay, Scott, can we get to you or to our pause for?
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break,
Posey,
everybody. Let's take a 10-minute break and come on back right at top of the hour for Laura Posey. Join us all the way internationally from down under.
Yay. Okay.
So everybody will be back right at top of the hour here.